Welcome. Oh, yes. Welcome to another episode of Roll the Tape with Manager Marty. I'm glad that you all can be here with me tonight. Does not matter how small, medium, or large our audience is now or how small, medium, or large our audience will be. I'm glad that we are all here tonight, and this is a special edition of the Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. And I welcome each and every last one of you. I welcome you if you are joining us through the replay of this live. You are also welcome. And you are also welcome to participate in the comments section below to provide your thoughts, your comments, questions, and even just basic feedback for anything that you are going to hear tonight. I want to say welcome to everyone in the chat. Salute to each and every last one of you. I am just excited to be here this evening. All right, I apologize. Someone called me on the phone, so I think that's why my audio had went out, and that's one of the reasons why I always turn this feature on. Do not disturb. But we're back live and live in color. We're right here. Um, we're here. I was saying welcome to everyone that was in the chat this evening. I appreciate each and every last one of you being here in the chat and just watching us live, even if you're not in the chat, live and live in color right here. Um, I want to do what we did not get the opportunity to do yesterday, and that is our customary Town Watch check-in. I would like to do our Town Watch check-in. Uh, I did not do it yesterday, uh, but we're going to do it today. I'm excited to be here this evening. I'm in really good spirits. This is a beautiful day here in Philly. Very beautiful. The weather is nice. In Vegas, weather is relatively nice as well. Considering the summertime, it's all good. It's all good. Um, let's do our Town Watch check-in. Let's do what we do. If you don't know what our Town Watch check-in is, I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis of what that is and what it represents. And please feel free to participate, even if you are watching the live broadcast. If you're watching the replay of this live, you can also participate in the comment section below. And so the reason why I do a Town Watch check-in, or at least that's what I call it, Town Watch check-in, is so that we all can recognize that no matter where we are from, geographically speaking, no matter where we are socially speaking, spiritually speaking, financially speaking, or any other uh, place that we represent or environment that we represent, we all share one thing in common, and that is our love for the sport of boxing. And so, what the Town Watch check-in does, it allows all of us to engage in the chat and in the comment section below, if you're watching the replay of this live, to be able to insert in the chat where you are from, geographically speaking, and or where you live or represent now by city, state, island, and or country. And then in exchange for you inserting your geographical location that you want to represent, I am going to publicly acknowledge it. And that is our way here on this channel, on this podcast, to have a form of inclusion for everyone, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your background is. We all have one thing in common, that is our love for the sport of boxing. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start it off first. Y'all know how we do. And then you all in the chat will follow behind. And then if you're watching the replay of this live again, you can also comment in the comment section below, and I will publicly acknowledge it. And so let me start it off first. I am representing the state of Texas, Arlington to be exact, by way of representing my hometown of Philadelphia, not in Mississippi, but Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now I see somebody in the chat representing Philly. Salute, I see you. Seattle is in the building. I see you as well. Detroit is in the building. I see you. Omaha is also in the building. Denver, Colorado is here with us tonight. Who else we got in here? Come on, y'all. Let's check on in. It do not matter how many people are here now or how many people gonna come in later or how many views we going. That ain't important. What's more important is that we check on in right now. Glen Heights, Texas, I see you. Connecticut is in the building. I see you. Salute. Come on, let's check on in. Let's check on in. South Jersey in the building. I see you. Who else we got? This our Town Watch check-in. Y'all can reserve the slick talk. We're gonna get into the slick talk in a minute, all right? Reserve that. We got a segment for all that. Right now, this is our Town Watch check-in. DC in the building. I see you. Arlington, Texas is here. I see you in the building. Charlotte, North Carolina is in the building. Who else we got in here, y'all? Come on, let's check on in. My guy, Mike Harrison, is in the building from Maryville, Indiana. New York, New York is in the place. Where we at? Where we at? Let's go. Kylie is in the building. Washington, D.C. is here. We got a few more moments. We have a few more moments. Come on, let's check on in. D.C. in the building. I see you. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the building. I see you. What it do? As we say in Texas, already. Already. Philadelphia is in the building. I see you, Eric. Let's go. Who else we got in here? Who else we got? Alabama is in the building. I see you. Let's go. I said Detroit, right? Sure did. I'm going to say it again. Detroit in the building. As the viewership is increasing exponentially. Come on and check on in. Check on in. We got some time. We got some time. I see you, Philly Fight Doctor. You know what it is. Philly in the building. You know how we carry it, no matter where we at. You know how we carry it. Absolutely. Check on in. Let's go. I know we got one more. I know we got one more. I know we do. Yeah, I know we got one more. I know we got one more. Yes, indeed. Florida's in the building. I see you. The Bronx, New York is here. All right, we got it. We got our one more. That was our Town Watch check-in. I appreciate each and every last one of you that participated in the chat. Salute to each and every one of you that's watching live and live in color right now. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Now, I see some unfavorable remarks. DC in the building, I see you. It ain't over, I see. Tallahassee, Florida, in the building, I see you. Seen some oh yes, unfavorable remarks in my chat right now. I see it, and we're gonna deal right with it. And you know me. And if you're just joining this broadcast live for the first time and you don't know me, you're gonna know one thing about me before this segment is over, and you about to learn it in a few seconds. And that is, I don't care where I'm at. It don't matter what's going on when it comes to Manager Marty. And there is no exception to the rule this evening. I'm never shy. Never shy of showing my face in the place. Never. Now, oh, the viewership. I love when the viewership does this, y'all. When the viewership increases exponentially, I love it. I do love it. Now, I know what you came here for. I love my audience. I love you guys and ladies. I do. I love this stuff. I know what you came here for. And every now and then, I give you what you came here for. I give you what you asked for. And what you really want is the reaction of the fight. That fight that took place in Las Vegas last night between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. What a fight. But you know, I have some things I need to share before I do that. Now, let me get this off here. I want the viewership to climb in. I need more viewers for this. And I see the numbers growing. I need more viewers to come in. I don't want nobody to miss a few things that I'm about to say. And then we're going to give our reactions to the fight last night, because what a fight it was last night. What a fight it was. My God. What a fight. Chrissy, are you still there, Chrissy? I want to know if Chrissy's still there. Chrissy, are you still there? Come in the chat, Chrissy, if you still there. Just tell me you still here, Chrissy. Is somebody saying my camera's lagging? Is the broadcast lagging, y'all? Somebody let me know. Let's get a mic check going on. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Is the broadcast lagging? My audio working clear? Hampton, Virginia, I see you in the building. Can somebody tell me if my video and or audio is lagging? Somebody said it's lagging. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Why we lagging? They say I'm lagging right now. Oh, somebody said I'm clear. Chrissy, I just want to know if you here. That's all. I seen your name earlier. I just want to know if you still here. That's all. All right. I want to address a few things as the viewership is increasing exponentially. Now, before I give my reaction to the fight, and before I allow you to give your reaction to the fight, because I see most people in the chat is ready to give their perspective on the fight, and most of you apparently are Terrence Bud Crawford fans. Let us not forget and be reminded, as the viewership is just climbing up there, let us be reminded that I have no issue, none, no issue providing a platform for any fans of any fighters on this channel, including Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, I have some things I want to address. Oh my gosh, the viewership is right where I need it to be. We're not in competition with anyone live tonight. So I'm glad that you all are here. Now, let's talk about a few things. I want to get a few things clear. Because let me let you know something, right? That's why I wanted to make sure Chrissy was here. I'm not them. I want to make sure we clear here. Manager Marty is not them. Whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. What that means is, to keep it in simpler terms, if you think, I just want to be clear, Philly Fight Doctor, you here? I want to make sure people that know me personally, I want to make sure they hear. We all be on the same page right now. Chrissy, I know you here. Philly Fight Doctor, you here? If Philly Fight Doctor, if you here, just come in the chat real quick. Just let me know you here. Lump, who's been spending time with me recently. Lump, I see you here. Okay, cool. Who else is here that know me personally? I know, Chrissy, you said you here. Lump, my man Lump is here. I want to know if Philly Fight Doctor is here. Okay, cool. Well, they know me personally. And some of you that have met me may be getting to know me personally. No, sweetheart, I'll tell you like this. I ain't asking nobody to back me up at all. I'm asking for a reason about them knowing me. So no, I'm not asking about if they knew me to come up here, or I don't never need nobody to speak for me. I'm just trying to see if we all on the same page. I'm not them. Whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. And let me keep that in simpler terms. If y'all think, this goes for anybody, Terrence Bud Crawford fans, Errol Spence fans, boxing fans, whoever. If y'all think Manager Marty is going to allow y'all to discredit me on this platform, you have another thing coming. I just want to put that out there first, so when I continue to build on what I want to say, we all can be on the same page, and then we're going to get to the reaction to the fight. I'm not them. Just starting that off right now. I'm not them. So I just want to put that out there. Whoever y'all keep saying them is, I'm not them. Now we got that out the way. I want to make something clear, because I think when people watch me live, right, and they hear me say something about Terrence Bud Crawford, they miss the big picture. They miss it. So I want to remind you, so we all can be on the same page of the big picture. Point number one, and I'm going to roll the tape on this. I didn't have enough time to find that segment. Got my other phone? Yeah. I'm gonna find it. If I don't find it by the night, you best believe in 24 hours, I'm gonna publish it. And what I'm talking about, if any of you remember, I specifically said what Terrence Bud Crawford needed to do to win this fight. Yes, it's no secret. I said that I believe that Errol Spence was going to win this fight. No secret. Everybody knows that. That's why the viewership is increasing exponentially, and that's why my chat popping right now with Crawford fans, and I welcome you. But if you listen to my content, you don't got to go back long, because I'm going to roll the tape. Even within the last 30 to 60 days, let's just go back 30. I specifically said the two things that Terrence Bud Crawford needed to do inside of the ring to win this fight. And I'm going to tell you verbatim what they were. Number one, he cannot start off slow to download information and sit back and wait to just counter. He's going to have to gain Errol Spence's respect from the opening bell and jump on him. I said that. And then I also said, number 2, from the opening bell, do not switch it. Stay in his natural stance of southpaw from round 1 until whenever this fight is over. And guess what Terrence Bud Crawford did last night? He did those 2 things inside of the ring. I just want to make sure we were clear. Number 2, for the last 7 or 8 months, however long I've been on YouTube, I told Terrence Bud Crawford what he had to do outside of the ring to secure this fight with Errol Spence in the first place. And guess what? Terrence Bud Crawford did exactly what manager Marty told him to do, not just inside the ring, but also outside the ring. And y'all seen he was successful both times. I just want to make sure my credibility was still intact. Because if you think that y'all was going to come here tonight, this is why I love entertainment. I use everything as a teachable moment. And you all know that. If you think you was going to come on this platform to tell me how wrong I was because I said Spence was going to lose, you have another thing coming. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. You got another thing coming. I'm going to let y'all cook. You can come on the panel. You can say whatever you want. I'm okay with it. But I just want to lay some ground rules so we all can be on the same page, like I always do. Now, my podcast, nor is my channel, nor is my content predicated on the outcome of this fight. Whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. Everybody keeps saying them. I'm not them. Let me repeat what I just said for the people in the back. My content, this channel, nor is this podcast predicated on the outcome of the fight that happened last night. It didn't matter if Crawford won. It didn't matter if Spence won. I was still going to continue to provide you all with the business of boxing. Provide you all with the entertainment and education that I produce on this channel about the sport of boxing. So no, it's not about whether Crawford won and Errol Spence lost, because just because I thought Spence was going to win and Spence lost, it doesn't disqualify me, nor does it disqualify my credibility, nor does it disqualify my credentials in this business to educate all of you about the sport and the business of boxing. And I'm not them. Whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. Now, with that being said, I'm going to tell you how much you all feel about me. I'm going to tell you how. You don't got to tell me. I'm going to tell you. If it was really like that, and when I say like that, I mean, I'm hating on Bud. I'm criticizing Bud on the YouTube for months. That's what y'all be saying, right? I must be a good manager. I'm not just talking about a boxing manager now, because I've managed to get all of you, most of you Crawford fans, in my chat talking about a fight that none of us can control. So people are saying that I'm disqualified in my chat. I need somebody to tell me how. When the man did everything I said inside the ring, and the man did everything I said outside the ring. You want to know what's funny to me? You want to know what's really funny to me? Nobody, I mean, not even one person, not even one person. And I got witnesses that was with me in the chat and watching me live and live in color. Not one person that saw me in Vegas, and a lot of people saw me in Vegas. Not one person disagreed with nothing that I said. I'm talking about in person. That's correct. That's correct. That's a fact. Nobody disagreed with me about anything I said about Terrence Crawford. And there's people in my chat and people watching the live and the replay of this live that saw me for 3.5 days out in Vegas. And guess what? They saw everybody showing me love. And guess what? I had conversations with people in Bud Camp. They walked up to me. People in Bud family. Good conversations. But I get more criticism on YouTube from people that never met Crawford than I did from the people who know him personally. That's interesting to me. Sounds like a good manager to me, if you ask me. I'm just setting the tone and the precipice for us for this evening. Now, somebody in the chat said that I wanted Bud to lose. No, I didn't care who won or lost. I was asked who I thought was going to win, and I said Errol Spence. It don't make no difference to me who won or lost because I am a business representation of the sport of boxing. I never told y'all, not once, you can't find no content of me saying this person or that person is my favorite fighter. I never got on YouTube and said none of that. But here's the thing, though. Let's say I did. Let's say other content creators did say that Spence was going to win. Let's say that they did say that Spence was their favorite fighter. What difference does it make? Are we going to talk about my reaction to the fight in a second? I'm not them. Yeah, that's the point I'm making. I'm not them. So whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. So, okay, Errol Spence lost. So what? People got to get criticized because they chose. You know what's interesting about that? I had to cut myself off because that's not even important. This was what's funny to me, right? The same people that's in my chat now and watching this live and watching the replay of this live, right? Y'all say people wrong because hey, y'all were right. Terrence Bud Crawford won the fight, right? But I find it extremely interesting. I find it extremely interesting that y'all same people who say that content creators are wrong for picking Spence, giving their opinion based on their observation and perspective, just like I've allowed you all to do here. I've allowed you all in my chat, Terrence Bud Crawford fans, to come on in my panel, in my chat, on my channel, and basically give your perspective. And I've done the same thing with Errol Spence fans as well. But it's interesting to me, though, right, that let's just use me as an example. Y'all can be in the chat and say, you were wrong, Manager Marty. Errol Spence lost this fight. You picked him to win, and you were wrong. Cool with that. But here's the part where I'm not going to give you that lane because the things that I said that I was right about, y'all wouldn't even acknowledge it. Let's keep it all the way 100. The things that I have said that you've heard me say on this channel that I was legitimately right about, you did not come and acknowledge it and say, Manager Marty, you were right. So guess what? You got to keep that same energy because that's what y'all want me to do. And y'all know I'm going to keep the same energy. I want you all to keep the same energy. I want you to keep the same energy. If you wasn't the one or the ones who had enough courage to come to the platform here to tell me that I was right about what I said about Terrence Crawford outside the ring, business-wise, then guess what? You are not equally qualified to come on this panel and tell me I was wrong, all because I said Spence was going to lose. I don't know what y'all do on other content creators' channels. I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm talking about here. I'm only accepting people to tell me I was wrong about my pick if you acknowledge that I was right about what I said to make this fight happen. Because anything else is uncivilized. Let's keep it all the way real. We got to deal with what's real. You didn't have enough courage and honor to come to me and say, man, Jamarty, everything you said was right. Or one of the three things you said was right. You ain't even tell me I was right. You ain't want to publicly acknowledge that I was right, even in the chat. But you're going to be in the chat to tell me that I was wrong for picking Spence. Where they do that at? Where's the hypocrisy in that? Everything I said about Terrence Crawford on this YouTube, like I told one of his relatives the other day, I can say it to him when I see him. Know why? Because everything I said was right. So if you wasn't in my chat, if you didn't come on my panel, if you didn't hit my phone telling me I was right when this fight was announced that it was going to happen, you are not accepted to tell me I was wrong for picking Spence. Absolutely. Where they do that at? Absolutely not. Where they do that at? Y'all said them. I'm not them. Where they do that at? Point number 2. Most of you people that are in the chat watching this live are sports fans in general. That means you have a favorite football team or a favorite basketball team or a favorite baseball team or a favorite hockey team, right? Or a favorite soccer player, right? Y'all same people. We're talking hypocrisy now. Let's keep it all the way 100. Y'all same people. I'm not talking about all of you. If the shoe fits, take it off and find a bigger size to grow in. Y'all the same people that will get on social media and say before a playoff game, my team's going to win. And then your team loses. You don't go back on social media on the same platform and say, I was wrong. My team lost. I'm just saying. This is all facts here. This is all facts. So where's the hypocrisy in that? So if you're not willing to do it yourself, how can you then hold the content creator accountable of coming to say that they were wrong about picking Spence for beating Crawford? You wouldn't even do it yourself, and you don't do it yourself. So you're not qualified to do it to me. No, it's not a D. Mitchell group. It's not apples and oranges. This is the basic principles of life. This is not apples and oranges. The principles still apply regardless of the sport. Now, let me condense that to make it a little bit more personable. For people that's watching me right now, may not be in the chat, but they watching me live right now, have the audacity to hit phone through text and phone call to tell me I was wrong because Errol Spence lost this fight, but was the same people that did not come and say I was right when I provided all the recommendations to get this fight to happen. Your comments are disqualified. Your comments are totally disqualified. If you ain't going to say somebody right publicly when they right, then you can't come and try to grind them up and say they wrong when their pick is wrong. That's being a hypocrite. We got to call it for what it is. Y'all said them. I'm not them. See, I deal with honor and integrity over here. Y'all already know that. That's why y'all here. You already know that. That's why you support me. So I'm just saying, if we're going to keep it all the way, before we get to the reaction, if we're going to keep it all the way 100 like we always do here, then we're going to always keep it 100. If I wasn't right about nothing that I said about Crawford, you wouldn't be watching me right now. You wouldn't be in the chat right now, the person that just made that comment. You wouldn't be. What you over here for then? If everything I said about Terrence Crawford was a lie, then why are you supporting a liar? Why? I'm just trying to figure out, once again, hypocrisy. We got to call a spade a spade. I'm going to get to the reaction of the fight. We're going to do all that I wanted to set the tone real quick, let y'all know I'm not them. Whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. Yeah, I'm not them. Yeah. I'm passionate about the sport. I'm passionate about business. I'm passionate about this topic. So I'm not mad or nothing. I'm just talking to y'all straight up. We're going to deal with it. Especially there's a lot of men in the chat too. Come with honor as a man. You ain't publicly acknowledged when someone was right, then don't come and publicly acknowledge that they were wrong. And I'm talking about other content creators. Whoever is a content creator, whether they like me or not, I'm defending their honor right now. From one content creator to another. If they said something, whether it was about Bud, whether it was about the sport of boxing or whatever, if they said something that was right, if you did not publicly acknowledge in their comment section or on their panel something that they said that was right, then you can't go and criticize them when they wrong, all because they picked Spence to win this fight. Because you're being a hypocrite. Now, you can go ahead and do it on their channel. You probably did already. But you ain't going to do that here. And I don't care what the viewership do after I say that. I don't care about, because guess what? Only the real ones going to stay. We're going to get to the reaction of the fight. I want to set the tone real quick. I'm not dumb. Whoever y'all say dumb is, y'all keep saying dumb, I ain't dumb. We deal with honor over here. And I'm not mad. I'm just talking because I see a lot of men in the chat. And you know how we talk when we talk about sports in the barbershop as men. This is how we talk. That's what we're talking about right now. So my point is, no, unacceptable. Not on this street. I don't mind you saying I was wrong, but that's all you're going to leave it at. That's all. That's it. You was wrong, Marty. You said Spence was going to win. He ain't win. Cool. But anything outside of that, disqualified. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Now, moving right along. I don't have to apologize to Bud Crawford or nobody for nothing. Apologize for what? For what? Apologize? I ain't said nothing wrong. For what? Apologize for what? I don't owe nobody on no YouTube or nowhere. I don't owe nobody an apology at all. Especially Terrence Bud Crawford. The man did everything that I recommended that he do because I know this business. And the fight got done and all of us enjoyed the fight last night. Very simple. But Mike Saucy, you said goofy, right? You said I'm a goofy, right, Mike? But you had the link, though. You ain't say that when you came up here, Mike. I don't get it. I'm a goofy, but you was on my panel, and when you was on here, you didn't say that then. You didn't say that then. So don't be in the chat acting crazy. You ain't say all that then. I can roll the tape on some of the things you did say. And it wasn't that. Once again, being a hypocrite. Like, why? For what? See, the thing is, I'm not emotionally attached to fighters in this business. I'm not emotionally attached to a fighter. So Errol Spence losing didn't physically affect me. It didn't financially affect me either. I would have liked to see him win because I thought he was going to win. I'll give my reaction to the fight in a minute. But my point is, don't come all in the chat talking crazy. Where they do that at? Not here. If you ain't going to publicly acknowledge when someone is right, then you don't have the luxury of trying to publicly acknowledge when they are wrong. That's a fact. That's a principle of life. That ain't got nothing to do with just boxing. That's a principle of life. If you're not going to sit up there and say, you right, then you can't come out and say, only person, I'm glad he came. I'm glad he in here. Rod Day, he in my chat. He the only one that I seen in this chat so far, even though he trying to say I'm capping, and I just talked to him on the phone. Yeah, all right, Rod. He the only one that can tell me, which he did earlier, you was wrong. You said Spence was going to win. Know why? Because Rod Day said, Marty, you was right. So I qualify him. Yeah, he was qualified to say, Marty, you was wrong. You thought Spence was going to win, and he lost. Crawford beat him. Yeah, Rod Day can tell me that. But if you ain't come up here, nowhere in my comment section, on none of my content, or even in the live chat, and tell me I was right when I was right, you ain't going to be qualified to tell me I'm wrong, because where y'all do that at? What? Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I know. I see you in the chat. Not here. I'm not them. Whoever y'all think them is, I'm not them. Yeah, we ain't doing that. Yeah, no, we ain't doing that here. Not on this platform. No. No way. You're not going to be on this platform and think y'all going to try to do all. It ain't happening. I disqualify any one of you. You didn't acknowledge when I was right about what I said about getting this fight done from a business perspective, then you don't have the luxury or the right to come and tell somebody they wrong. Absolutely not. Now let's get on to my reaction to the fight. Yes, we already know that I said I thought Spence was going to win. I said that. And I genuinely thought that he was going to win. I never predicated none of my content based on the results of this fight. If you just missed it and you're joining me live in living color right now, that's what I said in the beginning of all this air frying that I'm doing. None of my content is predicated on who won or lost this fight. Absolutely not. Bottom line is this. Terrence Crawford deserves the credit because he won and became the undisputed, undefeated, unified champion of the welterweight division. So salute to Terrence Bud Crawford for his performance inside of that ring. No, I ain't bending no knee. It's just boxing, y'all. I see somebody in the chat. That's the only reason I'm saying somebody in the chat saying bend your knee to Crawford. Listen, we ain't doing that. Terrence Crawford did what he was supposed to do last night. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be saying the same thing about Spence. Now, let's keep it 100. Terrence Crawford dominated Errol Spence Jr. last night. Let's keep it 100. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford looked different last night. Both of them looked different last night. Terrence Crawford looked different last night, and so did Errol Spence. They both looked different last night. I'm not going to say her name, but there's a woman that was at the fight who saw me earlier in the day, and she publicly acknowledged me. And we busted up, and then even hours after the fight. And we talked about my reaction. She was with her husband, too. She might be in the chat, or she might be just watching live. She says she would. She's also a subscriber to this channel. My point is, I told her privately that everything that I'm saying to you, when it's time for me to give my reaction tomorrow, I'm going to say the same thing. I told her that. And that's exactly what I told her. Both of these fighters looked different last night, obviously for two different reasons. Errol Spence looked different. Let's keep it 100. This is my reaction. This is my reaction to the fight. Both of these fighters look different. Both of these fighters look different than what we were accustomed of seeing them and how they performed previously. When I say they look different, that's what I'm talking about. Terrence Crawford dominated Errol Spence last night, and he deserves all the credit for it. Now, Errol Spence looked different. I'm only going by my observation. I don't know what everybody else said earlier. I wasn't on YouTube. I don't know. Just my observation alone. My observation alone. That Errol Spence looked different to me because usually when he's competing, his legs are with him. As I sat there and watched it, I had a deja vu moment in the first round before either one of these guys threw a punch, when they was just moving. The same thing that I saw with Errol Spence's legs in the Danny Garcia fight when I was there live there, ringside, I saw that last night in Errol Spence's legs. It's like a deja vu moment for me. I'm talking about my personal observation, reaction to this fight. When I saw his legs and his movement, I saw that. I saw it. I had a deja vu moment of what I was watching in the first round, in the first few rounds, actually, in the Danny Garcia fight. When he fought Danny Garcia, I saw that. Why am I bringing up his legs first? Because if you recall, if you are a supporter of this channel, or if you are a repeated viewer of this channel, you have heard me say, outside and even inside of the presence of Rachel Donaire, that the first thing I look at on a fighter when they're competing is their legs. I say that all the time. And last night was no exception to that rule. And I saw that moment where his legs were not with him in the Danny Garcia fight. I saw that. Make no mistake about it. I saw that. And when he got dropped in the second round, same thing I just told Rod Day on the phone. I'm saying it to y'all live right here. When he got up, I don't think he was hurt. I didn't think he was hurt first time he got knocked down. But I also thought that as the rounds progressed, like in the Danny Garcia fight, that his legs will come to him. If you know anything about boxing, and hopefully some of you do, because I know some of you do, but if you know, some of you that do know about boxing, I'm saying, the fighter draws their power from their legs. So if the fighter don't have their legs, it don't matter how many punches they throw in or land, they're not going to have the effective power that they may be accustomed of having without their legs. Everything starts and ends with the legs. So that's why I always look at the legs of fighters when they're competing, right? Especially in the Errol Spence situation, especially, coming off of a layoff that long. It don't matter if he was fighting Bud or not, because he came off of a long layoff, even when he fought Danny Garcia. That's why I was looking at his legs then, is the point that I'm making. So that was one of the first observations that I made about his legs not being there. Another observation that I also made when I say that both guys look different, that Errol Spence, his body was not there. He wasn't coordinating with his punches like we're used to seeing. We customarily are used to seeing both fighters do things different in their previous fights. And so, Errol Spence, his coordination was not there. He was throwing punches that were not landing because they were not there. And to Terrence Ball Crawford's credit, neither was Terrence Crawford there. Good footwork and good ring generalship from Crawford. Neither was he there some of those times where Spence threw those punches. Credit goes to him. Good boxing masterpiece last night. And so Spence looked lethargic to me, in my observation. This is my reaction to the fight. This is me personally. He looked lethargic to me. He looked different in that fight to me. I don't know what the reason was for. I can assume it was the weight. It was this, it was that. He was drinking, this and that, the car accident. We can do all these assumptions. The reasons for why isn't important. I'm just giving the observation. Anybody can speculate both fighters looked different to me last night, based on their previous performances, on what we are used to seeing from both fighters. Now, how did Crawford look different to me? Crawford looked different to me because of the amount of power that he generated in his punches. And we know Terrence Crawford can crack. He can punch. He has power. No question about that. But his power was more excruciating when he landed his punches, to me. Looked different to me. We've never seen nobody else face swell so early in the fight like Errol Spence's did when Terrence Crawford hit them. And I'm talking about the previous fighters in the welterweight division. It's one of the things that I thought that looked different to me from Crawford. Another thing that looked different to me with Crawford is that he started faster. Something that I said in my analysis of how both of these guys can win. What I said about Crawford. Starting fast. Don't sit back and wait to quote unquote download information. From the opening bell from round one, you go in and you get your respect from Spence. And you show him you're not going to back up. And you show him that he's not going to bully you like he do others. That's what I said live on this platform, several times on this platform here. He did that. That's something different that I saw, because we're used to seeing from round 3 or 4 or 5 where Crawford begins to attack his opponent after downloading information, meaning he started too slow in his previous fights. So with that being said, he didn't start slow in this fight. He started relatively faster in this fight, so he looked different in that regard as well. Terrence Crawford looked different in this regard. He did not switch it. Another thing that I said he had to do in order to win this fight, to come out in his natural stance as a southpaw from round 1 all the way to the closing of this fight. He looked different because he did not switch it compared to what we're accustomed to seeing in his previous performances. He looked different. Another thing that looked different in my observation with Terrence Crawford is that usually in his, remember, I'm comparing all these differences between both fighters in their previous performances in this division. Usually, when he gets hit by even lesser power punchers than Spence, he puffs up easily. His eyes puffs up easier. But that was different. The man ain't have a mark on his face. Why is that? Well, one of the reasons we know is because he was blocking some of Errol Spence's shots. And that also looked different because we're not used to seeing Terrence Crawford consistently from round 1 all the way until the end of his fights where he's consistent with his defense. He looked different in that regard. So differences look good on Crawford's behalf, but the differences on Spence didn't look good. But the bottom line is that Terrence Crawford won this fight. There's no excuses. There's no excuses, Rodney. There's no excuses, bro. This is boxing. I ain't giving up no excuses. This is boxing. I'm giving my reaction and my observation of what I saw and what I looked at from both of these fighters. No excuses here. Terrence Buck Crawford did what he was supposed to do. It ain't no different if Errol Spence would have saw Crawford weak or would have saw him hurt, he would have did the same thing. He would have tried to take him out too. This is boxing. Spence knew what he signed up for. Crawford knew what he signed up for before this fight happened. And they got in the ring and had to deal with it. Whatever the issues were, they had to deal with it. There ain't no excuses. And let me say this to the Terrence Bud Crawford fans, since we're on excuses. Because you can't have it both ways. And you can't be a hypocrite. If you're going to say Errol Spence was weight drained, if you're going to say it was because of the car accidents that he was in, if you're going to say that's because he's an alcoholic, you're going to say any of those three things, is the reason why Spence is in the position that he's in. If you're going to say that, you are inadvertently discrediting Terrence Bud Crawford. Want to know why? Because if he is alcoholic, if he was weight drained, if it was the car accident or the effects of the car accidents, then guess what? Terrence Bud Crawford was supposed to do that. That's what you're supposed to do to an alcoholic. That's what you're supposed to do to a fighter who's weight drained. That's what you're supposed to do to a fighter who is still dealing with the effects of 2 car accidents. One of them almost became fatal. That's what you're supposed to do. So that means that that's what you're supposed to do, Bud Crawford don't get the credit that he deserves. So Terrence Bud Crawford fans, don't discredit Terrence Crawford because we're talking about excuses. Don't discredit him by saying all the bad things that happened to Spence, because then he ain't going to get the credit that he deserves. It ain't no different than the same advice I'm giving you. I gave that same advice on this platform to Devin Haney. If you follow me, you know what I'm talking about. If you are a returning viewer on this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When I told Devin Haney on this podcast, not personally because I didn't have him here, but I was talking about my reaction to the press conferences between Haney and Lomachenko. And Haney kept discrediting Lomachenko, telling people how old he was and he don't got this and he's not that. My advice was don't do that. Because when you beat him, you're not going to get the credit that you deserve by discrediting him before you fight him. Don't do that. Say he's a good fighter like everybody else keeps saying. That's how you get the credit. So I'm using that same life principle and teachable moment for you Bud Crawford fans. Don't discredit Bud Crawford. He's supposed to do that to a drunk alcoholic, a man who had all these personal issues and car accident effects and all weight drain, and it's what he's supposed to do. So don't discredit him. Give him the credit that he deserved. He became undisputed, undefeated, unified champion of the welterweight division. And Terrence Bud Crawford gets all of the credit for that. Very simple. The man won. Now, from a fan's perspective, should it be a rematch? Should it be a rematch? From a fan's perspective, of course, the obvious answer is no. But from a business perspective, and a representative of the business, I must say, absolutely. Yes, rematch. Run it back. Because remember, that's one of the recommendations I gave Terrence Crawford to sign a multi-fight deal with PBC. Remember, I told you the reason why is so that he can secure 2 bags, 2 big multi-million-dollar bags in 1 year with the rematch. Y'all remember I said that? Right. Exactly. I don't know why static coming through the mic, Aaron. I don't know what's going on. That's probably the air fryer. Been cooking all day. Air fryer been cooking all day. But if they're going to do the rematch, from a business perspective, give these two guys another big payday. I'm all for that in the business. From a fan's perspective, no. No. No fan wants to see a fight that they believe is going to end the same way twice. No. But from a business perspective, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Rematch. No question about it. Absolutely. Rematch. But the caveat to the rematch cannot be at 147. Spence, I think he even said in the one of the press conferences a couple of weeks ago or something that he wanted to fight Crawford and this be his last fight at welterweight, and he's going to move up because he can't make the weight. And I agree with him too. He can't. So if you can't make the weight, it's no point in having a rematch at 147 again. Let both guys move up to 154. If they're going to do a rematch, they're going to do a rematch, 154. If they're not going to do a rematch, then it is what it is. But they're going to do a rematch, it definitely should be at 154. And here's the thing. You can't count neither one of these fighters out in the rematch, if there is a rematch. Why? Because we've seen rematches happen in this sport, where the other fighter who lost the first time wins the second time. And then it sets it up for, watch this, y'all, third payday. A third payday. And I'm all for that. I'm all for these fighters making money and maximizing their earning potential. That's why I got into this. And it's no different than that principle applying right now. Now, thank you, Mr. Aaron Muhammad, for that. Appreciate it. Now, do we have one Errol Spence fan that want to come up on the panel? And do we have one Terrence Bud Crawford fan that want to equally come on the panel? I told you all yesterday, earlier in the day before the fight, that I will have at least one Errol Spence fan and one Terrence Bud Crawford fan to provide your perspective and your reaction to the fight that took place last night. Do we have one? Tell me in the chat first before I send the link out. So let me do it all over again. Do I have at least one Errol Spence fan? I just need one, not Crawford fan yet. I'm going to ask y'all next. Just one Errol Spence fan. Do I have one? Just in the chat. I'm going to send the link, though, because I want you to come on if you want to come on. I know. I see you band up. I got you band up. You Terrence Crawford fan, I know. But I'm asking an Errol Spence fan that'll come up with you or any or another Crawford fan. That's what I'm asking right now, band up. I got you, bro. Do I have a Terrence, not Terrence, Errol Spence fan? No, I don't have one Errol Spence fan. I see a few Errol Spence fans in the chat. I don't know if you want to come on. I told y'all yesterday this is what we was going to do. King Asia Math right there. I know you just entered the chat, King Asia Math, but you are an Errol Spence fan. And then I have Band Up. He wanted to come back on. All right, I have somebody else that they're a Spence fan. Okay. I'm going to drop the link, man. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to let you know, like we always do. Like we always doing here. Hold on, let me put that in the chat real quick. Flew that kite right out there. Flew that kite right out there. Sure did. Did y'all get that? Let me see. they didn't put it out there. Hold on. Let me try this again, y'all. Fly this link in the chat real quick. Like we always do. Let me see if that thing come through there. There you go. Somebody saying my audio is trash. What's going on with my audio? Hold on for a minute. All right, can y'all hear me now? I don't know what's going on with the audio. Somebody saying I'm staticky. Am I still staticky in the audio? My goodness. Yo, can I get a mic check real quick? Am I still staticky in the audio? I don't know what's going on. I don't hear the all right, somebody said that's better. All right. All right, hold on, let me see something. All right, I got 3 Terrence Ball Crawford's fans in the background. 3 of them. All right, I got King Asia right here. I got 1 Errol Spence fan. Can I get 1 more Errol Spence fan? Because I got 3 Terrence Ball Crawford fans in the background, and I got 1 Errol Spence fan in the background. I'm gonna let them on simultaneously. What's up, Rod? You calling me? You saying Mar? What's going on, Rod? Talk to me, Rod. I'm trying to see what's up, my man. What's going on? Send my man the link. I did send the link. The link in the joint. I'll send it again. Man, they keep saying my static acting. What's going on with this thing here? Hey, what's going on, man? Well, let me see if I can reset this joint. I don't know what's going on with this interference. Can y'all hear me now? What's happening with this joint? I don't know. Y'all funny in the chat, man. Man, they said my joint sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies in this joint. What's going on with the mic? What's going on? Man, y'all don't even want to know how much money I spent on this mic, bro. Somebody try to hit me with, hey, Lucky, what's up, baby boy? I let Lucky get away with that because he's a supporter of the channel. I'm gonna tell everybody what you said, Lucky. He said, must be that Booth Mobile. Oh, I love having fun. Must be that Boost Mobile. I ain't got no Boost Mobile. None of my phones Boost Mobile. I don't know what's this microphone I got attached to my phone. Man, I ain't gonna tell you how much I paid for this microphone. I don't know what's going on. I unplugged it, plugged it back in, reset the whole StreamYard. Man, what's going on? I got let me get this super chat out the way real quick. Hold up. Let me see something. Oh, now my StreamYard acting crazy now. There you go. John Lemg, thank you for your support and contribution to the channel. John says he don't deserve a rematch. Errol got dominated and punished. It wasn't even close. That was not a fight. That was superiority domination. John, I totally agree with you, and I'm sure most people that are watching, and definitely all people in this chat, they agree with you as well. It was a domination that Terrence Crawford produced on Errol Spence last night. Hold on, y'all. I want to make sure. I don't know, Tracy. I don't know about that. Somebody, Tracy asked about Warren Buffett. I don't know. I don't know none of that. I don't know what's going on with this mic, though. All right. Hold on, let me see. All right, I got I need an Spence fan up here. I got one, but I got a lot of Crawford fans on me. It don't have to be even out. I just want to make sure that everybody get the chance to equally express themselves on the platform. Hold on for a minute. Oh, hold on, my man. Let me see something. Oh, okay. All right, I got you. So I got two. Okay, all right, cool. I got you, JD. What's up, BVO? What's good with you? It's my man BVO right there, man. Salute. Thank you so much, Artwork, for your contribution and your support to the channel. Hey, BVO. Oh, I see you. I got you, BVO, my man. All right, so I'm going to bring these guests on. I just went in the back here. I got JD here. And King Asia. Math is here. Both of these guys are Errol Spence fans. And I have Band Up, who was here yesterday, and Gregory Quarterbaum, who's also a Terrence Ball Crawford fan, and he also was on this panel yesterday. And I think King Asia was here as well yesterday. I'm going to bring these four brothers up, and I'm going to ask these guys a question from Errol Spence fans' perspective, and ask these guys a question from Terrence Ball Crawford's perspective. You may have noticed, if you are a returning viewer, that I had a segment called Nip It in the Bud. And then I had a segment called Truth Hurts, where I'd allow both fans of Crawford and Spence to come on the panel to provide their own perspectives. And then after I build up the segments with Nip It in the Bud, and then I started the Truth Hurts segments, then I started the episodes of Truth Hurts and versus Nip It in the Bud. And so all of that was by design. It was all and still is a marketing ploy to get both fans' perspectives and not just one. We don't deal with bias on this channel, irregardless of what your interpretation is of what I say. I call it right down the middle from both fighters, whether you think I'm favorable for Spence or not. Bottom line is I always allow both fan bases to have a platform and a perspective that they can provide, right here. Rodney, I didn't kick nobody off, brother. I ain't kick nobody out the background, bro. I'll send the link again. And whoever's more than welcome to join in with no problem. All right? Let me bring these guys on. I'm going to start with my man, Mr. Greg. He's always been. Come on in, Aaron Muhammad. You can come on in. Thank you for your contribution and your support. Another day one supporter of mine, Aaron H. Muhammad. Salute to you, brother. He says, I will rep for Arrow, Manager Marty. All right, cool. I'll send a link again. You can come on in if you want, Aaron. You know, you never have a problem. Ain't no problem with you ever coming on my panel, bro, as always. Appreciate your support, man. Let me drop that thing again. Hold on, Greg. I got you, Mr. Greg, all right? I just want to make sure I be fair to everybody, like I always do. Make sure everybody get opportunity. You know what I mean? Because, this one of the few platforms that, you can actually do this in, where it's a segment designated. You know what I mean? For both fan bases, or even one. And I'm excited about it. I like being unique and creative when I do things. So let me put that link back out there again. I'm going to bring Mr. Greg and I'm on. Y'all bear with me, okay? I'm not really fast with the technology joint on the YouTube, but we're gonna put this thing together. All right, the link in the chat. I got my guy, Mr. Gregory Quarterbomb. He is Mr. Greg. Can you hear me, sir?
Your mic is still just a little bit.
What's going on with this thing?
What's funny is that once I got my problem solved, now you got one.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can restart this thing. All right. Mic check 1 2. 1 2. What you think, Mr. Greg? Am I still staticky, sir?
No, you're fine right now.
Okay, awesome. Oh, I gotta get my homegirl. She in here. Haven't seen her in a while. Diana, what's up? What's going on, girl? Thank you for your contribution and your support, Diana. Says blessings to you and yours, Manager Marty. Blessings to everyone and all. Blessings to you as well, Diana. Salute to you, Queen. Good to see you as always, and I appreciate your support and your contribution to the channel. I don't know why I'm having these technical difficulties, but I have Mr. Quarterbomb is here, and I'm going to bring in my man, my young boy, Band Up. Band Up, can you hear me, sir?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So these two gentlemen are Terrence Bud Crawford fans, and I'm letting them on first because they've been on the panel before. These young men are, well, this young man, Band Up, and my other brother here, he's older than all of us with great wisdom. These guys provide good perspectives. They come respectful. These guys have been honorable on my platform, and it don't matter if we agree or disagree about who was going to win this fight. I got respect for Band Up and Mr. Greg, so that's why I'm letting these two guys on first. And now I'm going to invite, because I think Band Up was talking to King Asia Math yesterday. He's shaking his head, yeah. So I'm gonna let King Asia Math come on. Since you was talking to him yesterday, King Asia Math, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Am I one of the ones that's honorable and respectable in your eyes and in your views?
I was about to give you your introduction, my brother. I wanted to make sure you can hear me first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. King Asia Math, he was here yesterday. He was talking to Band Up. He's another honorable guy. He is a Spence fan. And him and Band Up had a great dialogue yesterday before the fight happened. And so I'm interested in seeing how uh, Mr. King Asia Math is going to deal with all of this fire and smoke that Mr. Greg and Band Up got for him. But I'm not going to leave him by himself because we got my man JD here as well. Mr. JD is also an Errol Spence fan, and I'm going to let all four of these brothers deal with the facts of reality, and we're going to talk about the reaction of this fight that happened last night. Win, lose, or draw for whatever reason. Then I got my guy J Rock. Y'all know how I feel about my man J Rock. I like J Rock. He back there. Cash is back there. And also my man, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad is in the back. So I'm gonna make sure all these guys get opportunity. And whoever else want to come on, get an opportunity to go ahead and cook on this topic. And I'm doing way too much talking. Let me bring JD on right now so you can see all four of these guys. JD, are you here? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Mr. JD is an Errol Spence fan. So for all of you viewers that's watching live in living color and the replay of this live, I want you to understand that Band Up and Mr. Greg that's on the top of your screen, they are both Terrence Crawford fans. And then JD and King Asia Math that's on the bottom of your screen, they are Errol Spence Jr. fans. So when you see them talking, you'll be able to identify who they are and what fan base they represent. I'm doing way too much talking. I'm going to let the elder statesman, Mr. Greg, speak first. Mr. Greg, you saw a masterpiece that Terrence Bud Crawford displayed last night. You always on point in your analysis. One of the things that you mentioned was that Terrence Bud Crawford is a great counterpuncher, and I think Banda made references to this as well. Mr. Greg, I'm doing way too much talking, brother. The floor is yours, sir.
Let me start by telling the Earl Spence fans, I know y'all need a hug, but right now, we're going to spank y'all first. Then we'll hug you later because we still love you. Marty, you know I've been on your show. Everything that I have said about Crawford, he did. The first time I was on, didn't I tell you that he would beat Earl easily? He did. We don't even have to question that. I also have said that Earl always separates himself from every single opponent that he's been in the ring with. And usually his class shows up during the course of the fight. It just showed up at the very beginning of the fight. Spence had no answer, nor did Derek James. Now, I'll criticize that in a minute. But what has happened that most Spence fans don't understand, Crawford is a special fighter. Everything he did was special. Everything. And Spence had no way to deal with it. I told you yesterday he was going to outbox him. Did he not do that? I gave Spence a little bit of credit by saying he might knock Crawford down. Well, we saw who got knocked down. He got knocked down because he couldn't see the punches coming. Crawford was too fast. Crawford was too accurate. Crawford was just too good. He was levels, not just one level. He was levels above Spence, and he has always been there. What Spence fans have to also understand, y'all have talked about Crawford's opponents, previous opponents being C and D level. Now, if they were C and D level, Spence was E and F. Because who has Spence beat this easily? Nobody. I'm sorry, Crawford's beat this easily. He beat Spence easily. David Abanesian was a better fighter. So we can't even say that Spence was the best fighter that Crawford has fought. What he's found out is in order to be special, and we talked about Spence and being beat by Crawford, you have to do everything right. Not just in the ring, but outside the ring. Crawford got so good at fooling you that Spence came into the fight thinking he gonna break him, thinking that he was gonna come forward. What happened when he came forward? He saw the canvas. He saw the canvas. He was getting hit with so many punches that I'm actually worried that they didn't take him to the hospital just to do a simple MRI, because you know those kind of punches will show up and cause you problems later. I hope that's what they did, because I don't want anybody to find that they gotta lose their career and have to have some kind of operation. But that's how much. That wasn't even a domination. That was just a master class in what a special fighter can do to anybody. Spence had to learn that as well. Did you see his face? Did you see how he was talking? He had no clue about what's going on with him. And Derek James couldn't tell him what to do. Did anybody see Spence do anything different? I didn't. So, I mean, I wear glasses, but I didn't see him do anything different. What I saw was when he, as I told you on one of the previous podcasts, the minute he got hurt, he was going to try to get some get back. And that's when he's going to get hurt some more. And that's exactly what happened as well. You have to watch Spence fans. I think y'all were enamored with PBC and how they put so much marketing and promotion into Spence. And it made you feel that Spence was something that we just saw. He's not. If you know anything about marketing, and I know I'm a little older, there was one time many years ago that great marketers came up with something called the pet rock. It was sold during Christmas time. It was nothing but a rock. But because of the marketing, they made millions of dollars in that short Christmas holiday. I'm not calling Spence a rock. I'm just saying the marketing made you think he was more than what he really is. He wasn't. And so the fight went kind of the way that I thought it would. Band Up was really clear. He knew he was going to get knocked out. I just knew he was going to beat the brakes off of Spence, and he actually did both. So there is no excuse for Spence. Spence was the lesser fighter, not just last night, but he was the easiest fight for Crawford throughout the welterweight run, right? So who is the best fighter that Crawford has fought? It certainly wasn't Spence, not at all. Now, what I like about what Crawford also did, you look at a fighter like Crawford, you saw how calm he was. When somebody can inflict that much damage on you and that much violence on you and remain completely calm, that's the man you need to avoid, because that man is a straight up killer, has no qualms about what he did, and he did it with such accuracy. Of course, I knew he was going to beat him, but I did become a little concerned, and I'm glad that they had a ref who was compassionate enough to see what the trainer wasn't doing. That fight should have been, in my opinion, been stopped maybe 2 rounds before it was. I mean, some people will say, let it go on, let him go out on his shield. Nah, he would have went out in a hospital bed, and we don't want to see that. But I am so happy that y'all saw that Crawford separates himself. I'm so happy that you saw Crawford did everything with such accuracy. I'm so happy that you all saw what we've been saying for 7 months. The best welterweight in the world is Terrence Crawford, who is now again undisputed. And he did it so easily. Did he? I didn't even see too much sweat on him. Now, that doesn't happen because you're fighting a guy who's a lesser guy. Spence was supposed to be the guy. He wasn't. Why wasn't he the guy? Because his people couldn't teach him to do anything different. The only thing that he could do was try to go forward, try to get the body shot, and so forth. And that wasn't happening. Once that wasn't happening, you got to change your game plan. He didn't do it. You go back to the corner. The corner was befuddled. I mean, I heard Derek James said they were having discussions with the doctor. Why in the world are you having a discussion with a doctor when your man is out there getting his brains beat out? That kind of angered me a little bit, but why are you discussing that? If you see your man has no answers and you don't have no answers, save him before he becomes damaged good, because now he really is damaged. They talk about a rematch. Really? I get getting some extra money, but does anybody really believe at 154 Spence is going to be any different than he was at 147? Because if you do, you're delusional, because you didn't see anything new that Spence does at 147. You're not going to see it at 154. He'll weigh more. Okay, that might help him absorb the punches, but remember, Terrence will also be weighing 154. So the same accuracy, the same power, the same speed, the same bag of tools, because Terrence pulled out the tools on him, didn't he? Does anybody have any dispute about Terrence pulling out the tools on him and using them?
No, he didn't.
I said that.
I don't believe it. All right, well, is that a rhetorical question, or you want me to answer?
No. You don't have to answer. We saw it. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm telling you that you all have always said Terrence, our defense and fandom for Terrence Crawford was delusional. The only thing delusional is that you didn't see that fight, and you didn't see what I just said. The Spence fans are delusional. I get that you like your man, but you saw your man getting a whooping like he did, and you still say it didn't happen. or you still say Terrence didn't do what I just said he did, how many times does he have to be knocked down? How many ways does his face have to be lumped up before somebody's gonna jump in and save it for y'all to realize he was levels above Errol Spence? That's just the bottom line. You saw it, you got to acknowledge it, and you don't get cooked because you said that we were delusional. You said we were over emotional. No, we're just passionate fans who saw what we knew would be the case. We told you. And let me say this too. The next time, at least an older guy like me tell you something, you can question it, but take out notes and do your homework, because you all should have went back and watched every single one of Terrence Crawford's fights and see he does the exact same thing. He changes levels, he separates himself from his opponent, and he takes care of business. Even when he fought Sean Porter, and his father told Bomac said, "You're losing." He said, "What? What did he do?" He went out into the next round and beat the brakes off of Porter, where his daddy had to come and save him. This is the second time somebody had to save their Terrence Crawford opponent, and these are supposed to be the best welter
Third time.
sport, huh?
The third time, Amir Khan.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. So I mean, what more do y'all need to see? That I mean, who had to save anybody from Earl Spence that I know of?
Your Daniel Sugas.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with that one. But and where is Lump, by the way? He was supposed to come on here because
Oh yeah.
he was supposed to have on his T-shirt. He was telling me that if you're going to be a king, you walk like
You
a
see
king,
that?
act like a king. Well,
You see that? You see that big fish? We got that fish on the shirt.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
All
got
right. So
that fish on the shirt.
all right. So let me give JD an opportunity because Mr. Greg, you said a mouthful and you made some
Okay.
interesting points, some great points at that. Uh, Mr. JD, are you there?
Yeah, what's going on, man? How y'all doing today?
What's up? What's up? I'm good.
All right, yeah, man.
We're good.
This is my first time on the panel. Hey, Manager Murdy, I met you on KO channel. So yeah, I met you with the debate and everything. That's my first time meeting you. Salute to everybody. Congratulations to Terrence Crawford and his team. Yeah, man. Uh, I'm not the typical Spence fan, so I put it to you like this. I can't come up with a bunch of excuses for the dude. What I can point out is what is a significant role or significant part in the role of his demise, which is the layoff and his focus and Terrence Crawford's ability. Those three things. Right? So with that being said, I had it going a different way. I had it going the way that it went for Spence doing that to Crawford. But that was only based upon my analysis of who Errol was fighting, right? So to me, in my opinion, I feel like this was one of those Teofimo Taylor situations where if the moment is big enough, Crawford is going to show up, plain and simple. And like I said last night, and I've been saying it, Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I don't think anybody is has the ability to beat him, nor the experience at that level at 147 right now. Now, maybe 154, somebody might be there, but I doubt it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, Errol's preparation when Crawford, regardless if he was negotiating in bad faith with the PBC for the Avenesian fight, it was the smartest thing he can do. I'm getting some feedback. Somebody got to mute real quick. But
Can
So
everybody mute their phone? or their device banned up. Mr. Greg, can y'all press mute on your device?
Yeah, so yeah, Crawford did something intelligent by lining himself up with a pressure fighter that's going to walk him backwards. So he was prepared. Also, too, one thing that I want to point out about Crawford is when we wanted the Crawford and Errol fight the first time, Crawford hadn't acclimated to the weight completely. And last night we saw what happens when he prepares correctly, repairs a jab that was flicking and turns it into a stabbing, stopping, heavy, stiff jab. And then we also saw when he finally grows into the division, what he's truly able to do. Like the fact that in the first 3 rounds, when Crawford and Errol clinched a couple times, Crawford back. Now, I just want to point out, Crawford is so skilled, and I didn't realize it until last night, that he had already damaged Errol already in the first 2 rounds. So that third round, when Errol tried to clinch with him, Crawford was able to push him back because he sapped Errol's power by hitting him with those heavy body shots and then that stiff jab. You know, that second knockdown is another thing for me that made me a believer of Crawford's skill. When Errol tried to loop that left hand on the ropes, I think Crawford stayed southpaw, and that's another. Errol was training for a switch hitter, and it falls into the category of him not preparing for Crawford. It feels like correctly at all, because Crawford hasn't switched at that level, and I don't know how long. He's been more dominant as a southpaw. So when you got a guy like Crawford that's an extremely slick counterpuncher with that type of power, you push him up against the ropes and you're looping shots like that, he's going to catch you in between. And that was in the keys to victory that Mora Al Bernstein went over. Catch Spence in between the shots, make sure they're looping and short shots within the exchange. You know, so it's just, I don't have an excuse, man, as a Spence fan. I'm a heavy Spence fan. Like, I follow Spence. What I think, you know, most Crawford fans were saying, like Terrence Bett's videos was saying that the car accident took something from Errol. It wasn't in the way that I think he meant. What the car accident took from Errol was his ability to bite down and be smart and effective and gather his wits the way he used to. The minute he was down for the first time, that was the first time it ever happened to him in his career. And you could see the difference. You could see his will starting to wilt. You can see him he's in disbelief, like, oh my God, this guy really knocked me down. And I was in disbelief, like, oh my God, Crawford really knocked you down. So, like I said, man, I don't have an excuse. All that stuff about Errol not being who he was. Sorry, Mr. Greg, with all due respect, OG, I disagree. Because prior to the accident, Errol was that guy, regardless to what you guys might believe or not. All right? You asked, who have you seen that Errol has done what Crawford did to him? I could say Dennis Ugas. I could say Lamont Peterson. I could say Kell Brook, you know? So it's not like Errol is just some bum. He's not a bum. But it does look bad for him that he talked about Crawford not fighting nobody, and you couldn't even last as long as those nobodies did, you know? So, but salute to Errol for making the fight. I give him that. He chased the fight. He said he wanted it. Crawford said he wanted it. They made the fight. At the end of the day, the fans won. Yeah, Crawford's the best in the world.
Yeah, I got a question. Yeah, I got a question. How you not agree with Greg when he's saying that? My man, it was all out for last night. I'm gonna stay right. I'm gonna start there. Number two, I caught this. Only thing I didn't call I thought Bud would have kept him around a little bit to that 10th, 11th, because I said, through the 10th and 11th, 12th, I thought he was going to be down. But the judge stopped there. You know what I mean? The ref stopped there before that. I thought Crawford was going to drown him out. I knew.
Yeah, it would have been too dangerous for it to go that far, bro. I mean, I think the ref did a good job of what he did.
I'm not saying he didn't do a good job. I didn't say he didn't do a good job. I'm not a casual, but I'm fairly new to this boxing thing. So I've only been into this boxing about 2-3 years. So I don't know how it is between referees with the UFC or referees with boxing. I'm more UFC based. You got to get knocked out, put out almost for them to get put in. But if it's not like that through boxing, then you do the job.
I understand. What was your question though? What was your question for me?
No, I was just saying I don't see how you agree with what Greg said. What Greg's comment.
Oh, I mean, I pretty much explained it. I disagree with the fact that, Errol is, subpar, because you got to look at everything that happened all the way up until that point. Errol had a lapse in his focus. He's not. And it affected him. Now, as I said, I'm not creating an excuse. I'm just showing you what it was that caused the separation. I'm telling you what it was that caused the separation.
So where do you see the lapse at?
I see the lapse from after the car accident. If you look back from when he was talking in those interviews and explaining what he was going through with the mouthpiece getting rocked by Ugas, and then, him fighting with PTSD on his wife's or his girl's podcast, he clearly shows you and tells you, the PTSD that he's dealing with. And I think that played a big part because of the mind game that Crawford played. Crawford is, like you guys said, and I have to admit this, astounding inside and outside of the ring, because like I said, he had me fooled. I thought it was going to be much more competitive than that, but it was more of a Floyd Mayweather-esque performance inside and outside of the ring. Like his temperament, his ability to rise to the occasion and not really adapt, but set the tone on the faster starting fighter. Crawford don't start that fast. Crawford does not start that fast. And last night, he started faster than Errol has ever started in his career to establish the tempo of the fight. See, I told you, I'm not the
that goes to the hype of him though. Everybody always said Terrence and Errol hear everything. You know what I mean? And after that media day workout, I think it was on Fight Hype, she said, Terrence, you haven't been doing a lot of movement in the ring. Do you plan to stand with this guy? Terrence said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And what did he do? Just that. He wasn't planning on running from Errol. I think that's what everybody. I feel like that's what everybody.
Disagreeing with you.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like Bud was out to prove the doubters wrong. You know what I mean? He was out to prove everybody wrong. You know what I mean? And he did just that. You know what I mean? Everybody talking about this chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Well, today for EJ and Bud, I got some salmon and I got some fish and chips. You dig? And that's how we gonna end with some hot sauce, because my boy don't eat it, so I'm gonna get it on. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gonna do it. We gonna all get a piece of fish today. You know what I mean? We all gonna need a piece of fish today after that one. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling everybody talk about this Tim Duncan, this fun of, hey, Kobe got 5 rings too. What's the difference between Tim and Kobe? The dynamics. Kobe's a little bit more flashier, you know what I'm saying? And it works just as well. So when you tell me you got a guy that is so dynamic, that is good at what he does, and that's gonna be the difference. I couldn't rock with that. I couldn't choose Errol, because you got a guy that can almost do if not everything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, versus listen, the guy that has, not to cut you off, bro. Let me just say something real quick. Listen, you told me just now that you're not a casual, but you're new to this boxing thing. I got to keep it G with you, bro. With all due respect, and excuse me for saying this, Marty, but that's a bunch of bullshit, because it sounds to me like you understand boxing, bro. So I don't know.
Oh
You know,
no,
with the
no,
DNA.
no. I'm a UFC. No, so I know about the UFC more than I know about
Nah, bro.
boxing.
Listen,
You know what I'm
listen,
saying?
listen, listen.
So I know how to look at a fight.
It's a difference between a fanboy and a fan of the sport. See, again, I'll say it again. The difference between, and I'll just put it out there, the difference between me and a regular Aero Spence fan and a couple other Spence fans like me that I know, we give credit where it's due. I'm not a fanboy. So, with that being said, everything you are saying is correct. The only problem was the powers that be were blocking Crawford from showcasing this ability. And in a sense, he kind of did himself a disservice, but then he actually helped himself too with the Avanesian fight. And again, those three things that I said to you are paramount. Listen when I say it. Spence's inactivity, Crawford's skill, talent, just greatness. Let me just say greatness. And Crawford's ability to rise to the occasion, bro. Those three things matter. When you got grit, heart, greatness, and you have a specific temperament, like Spence said in the pressers, you are elite. Arrow is still great. Crawford is just greater. That's what it is. There's no
All
way
right.
around it. You
All
won't
right.
get an excuse from me.
All right.
You know,
So with that being said, I want King Asia Math to get his piece in. Then I got a couple of guys that's in the back that want to come on, and I'll let you guys go before I bring those guys on real quick. King Asia Math, you've heard a lot of things that Greg said, Mr. Bandup said as Terrence Bar Crawford fans. JD
I
kind
got
of
it.
agreed with some of those things. Uh, King Asia Math, the floor is yours. If everybody else can mute their phone or their device
Please.
that they're using, I'm going to
Yes.
give Mr. King Asia Math his opportunity. I know you heard a lot.
Yes, I
Um,
do.
King Asia Math is on you, my brother. So, oh, before you do that, there's a guy I want to salute right now. There's two guys I just noticed. Mr. Vegas, my guy, Mr. Vegas. What's up, big homie? Salute to you and my other big homie, D-Town Boxing. What's going on, family? That's the family right there. All right, King Asia Math, it's on you.
Yep, Manager Marty, before you go, I just want to give you this disclaimer. In my soliloquy, I will be using some of the audio from yesterday when we was on the panel just to clarify what I'm about to say now, if that's okay with you. It's your content that will be being, that you'll be hearing today, right now.
I appreciate you getting the clearance first, King Asia Math. Let me tell you, the name of this podcast, as you all know, is Roll the Tape. And so I love when someone else can roll the tape. So, yeah, absolutely, brother. If you want to use it, yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. It's all yours.
Yes, sir, and I truly appreciate that. And I'm not going to try. I mean, with much respect, give kudos to myself for the patience. So I ain't gonna try to be that long. But first, salute to both fighters last night. Salute to you, Mr. Gregory. Salute to you, Bando, for a precise prediction. Uh, Bando, this first audio clip is you yesterday. Okay, not even 24 hours ago, or barely. Here we go.
Snap punch, that quick punch, and I think that's going to be the one to put him down.
Okay. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, okay.
loud
So
and clear. Heard that.
yeah,
And that's
so salute to
exactly what
you.
happened.
You're right, 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 right. Okay. And I know, Kurt, I've been going. Could someone mute that mic, please?
Sorry about that. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
All right. Y'all got it.
No, no, Bando, you good. I know it's not your mic, and I know it's not Mr. Gregory mic. Y'all can unmute y'all mic. But to myself, I've been on other. That's why I really revere Manager Marty, the platform he has created, because he's fair and unbiased. I made it my business in the past month to be going on multiple channels, a lot of the pro Crawford channels, and they get rattled when I say, yeah, I think Spence going to win. Oh, what, you don't know nothing about boxing? I say, dude, it's just my opinion and my perspective. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I could be wrong, but every time. All right, Bando, that must be you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, cool.
Got
Every
you.
time I gave,
You gotta keep your mic muted, band up. You gotta keep it muted, man.
I got it. I got it. Oh my God, why does it keep going off?
all right, thank you. Every time I gave my, and I said it on Manager Marty show as well. It's not like Bud Crawford doesn't have a chance, or didn't in this case now, because we know who won, didn't have a chance to win. He had a small, minute opportunity to win, and it was kind of like it wasn't his usual way. So Crawford usually start off slow. He didn't last night. So every time I gave my prediction, I say, hey, if Crawford's going to win this fight, he got to come out the gate within the first 3 rounds and make it overwhelmingly convincing to Spence and his corner. It's nothing y'all gonna be able to do with me. This is me not even 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago. Let's roll the tape, Manager Marty.
All right, you got it. That was from Band Up. Thank you, Band Up, for your support coming on the panel. Look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, my brother. And we can't wait to see a good fight this evening.
For sure.
For sure. King Asia Math is on you. 30 seconds. Give us your last words, my brother.
Yes, I will be in attendance the next time you go live. And the only explanation I will have to give is if I just said, if Bud is able to surprise everyone else and shock the world and do the unthinkable within them 3 rounds. Other than that, I'm gonna be on your show gloating. All right. Within those 3 rounds, round 1, round 2, round 3. Yes, I know in that clip you didn't hear me specify, but I had already specified earlier. So what did Crawford do in those first 3 rounds? In everybody's, we can't even say opinion anymore because it's a fact. And you ain't got, that's not a rhetorical question, because like Mr. Gregory, the Honorable Mr. Gregory said, everything is factual based now. What did Crawford do in those first 3 rounds? He came out and he set the precedence and he let it be known, I do not have time to play with this great guy over there. I know what he's capable of doing. I can't play with that. I go into the YouTube streets and I listen to guys talk. I see who's just the fanboys that's just talking, and I see who really knows what they're talking about. And King Asia Matt, you know what the fuck you talking about. I gotta do what I gotta do within these first 3 rounds. You're right, sir. You're right, King. And he didn't disappoint. No, I didn't see. Well, I saw the writing on the wall, but I dismissed it. So shame on me. And I explained what the writings on the wall were. But I didn't, to Crawford's credit, I didn't see him jumping through that window of opportunity the way he did. But I knew that's what he had to do. And he did it masterfully. He did it masterfully. Oh, someone would be calling. Okay, he did it masterfully and convincingly within those first 3 rounds. I did give the first round to Spence. I did give the first round to Spence. It could have been a swing round, but I'm biased, so I'll give it to Spence. But by that second round, it was clear, mentally, spiritually, and a few seconds later, emotionally, Spence had been clocked out. And it was on the precipice of being physical. He still had a little fight in him physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, by the second round, Crawford had done his job. Now, let me explain the writing on the walls that I dismiss, that I say Spence will overcome all that. The out of the ring activity. I saw the writing on the walls. Once again, as the Honorable Gregory said, there's no excuses. These are just the facts. And we all know this as well. Just as sure as we know Crawford did a masterful performance last night, we also know these facts. And once again, I say shame on me that I dismissed the writing on the walls. And once again, the out of the ring activities. You don't play boxing. You play football, you play basketball, you play baseball, you don't play boxing. And for a while, Spence had been playing boxing, and he had been, playing boxing, and he had been being successful with it. A 50% Earl Spence was better than everybody before Bud Crawford. I'll say that again. A 50% Earl Spence was better than everyone except the Bud Crawford. And I drank the tea. I say a 50% Earl Spence could be better than a Bud Crawford. And Crawford proved me wrong. Kudos to you, Band Up. You called the shot. I felt like if he threw that shot, Spence Shield would catch it, and he'll walk through that just as he did a lot of the other guys. Ooh, guys, we know the Spence resume, so we ain't got to go all down there. So I dismissed the writing on the walls to where his lifestyle caught up with him in that ring.
With me, I don't know if you remember Manager Marty, but I came up on your show and I told you that I had went back and I stayed up till like 5 a.m. watching Amir Khan, Crawford versus Amir Khan versus Crawford versus Egas. And I watched Crawford versus, it was Egas, Amir Khan, and I want to say, was it Porter again? Probably Porter again. And I wanted to see, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, what everybody was looking at, you know what I mean, saying, no, it was Gamboa. It was Gamboa. I watched it against, Gamboa. I wanted to see what was everybody's saying as far as Crawford getting hit. You know what I mean? And Manager Marty had asked me, Band Up, what do you rate his defense? You know what I mean? And I told him, I said, I give him an 8. And he said, why? You know what I mean? I gave my reason why. I said, because Bud only puts himself in these predicaments to give you guys, Spence fans, a reason to say that his defense was lacking. The Cal Velasquez, he was in the Orthodox. There you go. You got caught. You know what I mean? If you guys want to say he got caught by Kell Brook, he was in the Orthodox finding his range, in my opinion. He was finding Kell Brook's range. And once Kell Brook, you know what I mean, kept doing the same thing, 31 seconds. Look at it. 31 seconds into the last round is when he switched to southpaw. And in the 4th round, he knocked him out. That round only lasted 1 minute and 26 seconds. So majority of that fight was Orthodox finding, it's like playing possum. You know what I mean? And these are the things I'm seeing with my educated, you know what I mean, with what I see. I think sometimes people can get caught up into boxing, that they take street fighting out of it. And I honestly feel that Crawford, his style, that puncher boxer, you know what I mean, is more, and the things that he could do is more like a street fight. You know what I mean? It's like a guy, you know what I mean, street fight, and the way he even moves, you know what I mean? I done seen a lot of cats in the streets move like that. Earl looks like somebody just pulled that man out of a textbook of boxing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I just feel when you go against a guy like that, your dynamics got to be super elite. Like your dynamics got to be able to or your strength got to be able to, you know what I mean, give that man something. This is what I was kind of alluding to. On another video, I asked Manager Marty, I said, who did he feel was the more dynamic out of the two? And Manager Marty gave his reasons for Earl Spence. I shot back at Manager Marty and told him that he, you know, because he's cool with the AM podcast, Jason and Greg. I let him know what one of his colleagues had said, you know what I mean, Greg, and why that Crawford was more dynamic. I didn't want to put any words into Marty's mouth. I wanted to hear Marty out of his own, you know what I mean? And he gave a little bit more a different reason than what Greg did. You know what I mean? And from what I take from it, I take what you guys say, and I see, and I go back and I look what you guys are saying and why the things are the thing, like why are things that people say. When I went back and I watched that Kell Brook, I'm like, okay, let me type this. Did he stay in that movement? Oh, did he stay in Orthodox on purpose? Or was he truly getting out, you know what I mean, outboxed for a second? And, oh my God, somebody's calling me. My bad, you guys, if it's kind of fuzzy. 1 second. Kurt going, hold on.
Well, but
yeah, I wanted to know if he was playing possum or not. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say while you're working on your phone, Aaron H. Muhammad just jumped in. He was waiting for a while in the back. Um, Mr. Aaron H. Muhammad, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I know you've been waiting in the back. You've heard all of the Terrence Park Crawford fans, Mr. Greg Band Up, say what
Hey,
they said. JD, King Asia
excuse me,
Math.
fellas. Before you get into it, hey, listen, Manager Marty, thank you for having me up. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. I'm a truck driver. I'm at work. Y'all help me get through the day. So I just want to say thank you very much for having me on the panel. Salute to everyone on this panel that has a boxing mind. I respect everybody's opinion, and congratulations to y'all favorite fighter, man. I'll be back.
You
I'll
got
be
it.
back again.
You
All
got
right,
it.
salute to you.
Luke.
Thank you for joining the panel, Mr. JD. Appreciate you. Aaron Muhammad, as I was just saying, you've heard these guys. Band Up, you got to mute you and King Asia, if you can mute your phone. Um, you've heard a lot of what these guys said, Mr. H. Muhammad. The floor is yours, my brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Salute to the gentleman on the panel. Um, First and foremost, man, I want to say what I think we've all heard from most of the Spence fans, which I am one, but I am a fan of competitive sports, which includes boxing. I would not. I would be a liar if I sat here and said that I expected to see what I saw, and I definitely did not expect to see Terrence Bud Crawford, who I must take my hats off to, perform the way he performed. Not going to make any excuses for the gentleman I'm a fan of, Errol Spence. But something you said at the beginning of your show, Manager Marty, and I noticed this, but and I'm not going to use it as an excuse either. But I'm going to say the Errol Spence that I saw against Bud Crawford on Saturday night is not the Errol Spence that I'm accustomed to seeing. I can't give a reason for that. I'm not going to attempt to. But I know that when the lights are on and it's time to fight, both people have to be prepared. Whatever it takes to be prepared and come into the ring prepared. Um, I saw one man ready to fight and brought the fight. I saw another man have the fight brought to him and could not respond. Um, so with that being said, I think here's my analysis of that. Very, very short. I think Errol Spence put way too much time and energy in making this fight happen. I think it was going to take all of that same energy times 10 to come in that ring ready to fight. Now, again, not saying I'm not using that as an excuse. This is what I saw. I saw an exhaustion on Errol Spence that, and this is just my opinion. I'm attributing it to nothing. I'm not attributing it to weight drain. I'm not attributing it to none of that. I'm attributing it to mental drain from getting this fight happen, making this fight happen. And I think he thought all he had to do was make the fight happen, show up, and that he would be able to overcome what he was going to face in the ring. Did not happen that way. So again, I just have to take my hats off to Bud Crawford, to his team. They brought a superior game plan across the board. I mean, it's just total domination. But now I got to also say, Manager Marty, what you said, and I said this last night, from a business perspective, I can't sit here and say that a rematch should not happen. Doesn't mean that a rematch means he can come back and overcome what he went through. It simply means that there was a reason for that clause to be put in the contract for both fighters' benefits. It's just a simple business. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong about this, but Errol put something in the atmosphere that I'm a little disturbed about. He was asked a question about becoming undisputed, and his answer was he was fighting for the money. I don't know if y'all heard that. I tried to keep that in context with just saying, well, maybe he was just talking about this fight in particular because it's probably going to be one of the biggest fights in history. And I'm hoping, because I don't want to take his words out of context. But when it got out there, it's in the atmosphere now. I'm looking at him from a little bit different angle and hoping that if he takes a rematch, if he exercises that clause, Errol is going to have to rebuild himself in a short amount of time. And the best Errol Spence is going to have to show up in that ring. Otherwise, he's wasting his time and our time. And I hate to see that happen. So hopefully he's able to dig in, and come back and present himself as his best, and his best self may not be enough. I'm simply saying that's what it's going to take. He's got an uphill climb. But if anybody, now he's gone through some things that does say he can overcome some adversity. But that adversity that was in that ring last night, he was not ready for. So with that being said, gentlemen, again, I'm definitely a fan of Errol Spence. I live in the same city. I've watched his career since it began. And not to disagree with what you said, Mr. Gregory, but I just don't believe that was the best Errol Spence that could have been in that ring. No excuses, but I saw something in him early on, and Manager Marty mentioned his legs. I didn't see that man ready to fight.
The best Earl Spence still wouldn't have beat the best Bud Crawford. Earl Spence is not a special fighter. He's a good fighter, but he's not a special fighter. And no matter how hard he trains, we saw he still didn't do anything different. His go-to was to come forward, and it didn't work. Because what he didn't understand how good Terrence could be and how good Terrence have been. But he should have realized that Terrence always separates himself. That's what they should have been looking for that moment when he's going to separate himself. By him being special, he came in immediately, established himself. I always said class shows up over time. He bought it at the very beginning, and Earl was not prepared for it. And he won't be prepared for 154.
I got a question for well, first I got a statement. I don't think Errol Spence, to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it a stat. I don't think he learned his lesson, because some of those shots that he was getting was the same shots Emmanuel Larte hit him with. It was that shot that he hit him with. Maybe not the same technicality in the placement where Emmanuel Larte hit him, put his butt on the boat and hit him in that side, boom, boom. But it's kind of this, like when you guys notice when Bud's back was on the wall, it seemed like it was more of a trouble for Errol. It seemed like it was more.
Let me address one last thing.
Go ahead.
And then I'm gonna jump off. Let me just address this real quick. Mr. Gregory, you also made mention of the doctors and the doctor coming in the ring inspecting Errol Spence. Now, personal opinion, I believe that early in that fight, first, possibly maybe second round, Errol could not see. I think he took a straight punch to his eye. And that eye that was damaged, I believe he could no longer see. And again, I just watched his reaction to some of those punches that we all could see were coming. Errol could not see some of those punches.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Again, no excuse now, but I'm just saying, what other reason would that doctor have to come in and really take a look at him? I didn't think it was a point where he was trying to see if maybe he was concussed a little bit, but he looked at that eye. And I
thought he had broken orbital bone.
Yes, sir. He definitely looked at that eye. So that's my only other thing I wanted to address was that doctor was very aware of that eye and probably the previous injury. And I believe that his corner just wanted to make sure, hey man, let's, because that can definitely be life changing in the ring. We started happening to Sugar Ray, and we don't want that to happen to no fighter.
Exactly. Right. And that's what I was saying too. once you see your fighters damaged like that, you should not let him fight that long when you saw it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse, because you could be blind, you could get blood clots, all of those things. I think the fight should have probably been, like I said, my belief around round 7, that he should have, because he was talking. I mean, Derek James said that he was having conversations with the doctor throughout the fight. So that tells me they were seeing the same thing I was seeing, the rapid deterioration of their man getting beaten from pillar to post in that ring. And when you can do that, you have to take the hard decision. I haven't taught my man how to deal with this kind of fighter today. Let me pull him out, and maybe we live another day. And I also hope they keep him out of the ring for at least a year before I know they got to do it sooner, but I hope for his health that they keep him out a year, give him enough time to really recover, get detox, heal up. And if you're going to come back at 154, because the 154 belts may be freed up, I don't know, depending on what happened with Charlo and all the other stuff. But I was more concerned after round 3 with Spence's health, because I always believed that Terrence was going to beat him badly. I just didn't know how. I knew it was going to be easy. I just didn't know that would be that easy.
Yeah. Could I say something to Mr. Muhammad? Just a little pushback on something you're saying. And
Yes.
I just want, because it's about to be circulating, and I'm just like I say, that's why I revere Manager Marty. We just got to keep it a bean. When he made that comment about, hey, I got into the game to make money, that might have been what he felt initially coming in, but later on down the road, he did make it his goal to become undisputed in the welterweight championship. In the welterweight division. So if that was
Yeah,
his goal, he came short of that goal. It was still important to him to get that 4th belt.
right. So
So
let me clarify, because I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about this fight in particular. And I started off by saying I think a little bit too much energy was put into Errol making this fight happen, because we all have to be honest about this. This fight was much closer to not happening than it was happening.
oh yes, I agree.
For
Yeah,
whatever reason, and I'm not pointing the finger at either side, but we know, because of the amount of time it took to make this fight happen,
right.
this fight was very close to not happening.
Yeah, and I will put a lot of that blame. I will put a lot of that blame on Crawford and Top Rank. Well, Crawford, because he had a decision not to re-sign with Top Rank over these years that the fight could have been made. So I agree with you right there.
Yeah, and I wouldn't disagree necessarily that it was not on Errol. I mean, on Terrence Crawford's side, but now in retrospect, I think that they saw something that if they could prolong this fight, not necessarily to not make the fight happen, but to prepare, which is what Errol Spence should have been doing more so than putting so much energy in making the fight happen. Because I'm telling you, the part that none of us see, we don't know. Now I'm in the event business, and I know how grueling of an effort it can be to make some big events happen. And I think Errol went a little bit too far. This on a personal note. This is just my observation. I think he should have come up with a conclusion for his own benefit. He knew the fans wanted this fight, but I think he should have given himself and Terrence Crawford a deadline and say, hey man, I want this fight, you want this fight, but look, if we can't come to some agreement by whatever that date would have been, just like Terrence was able to get a tune-up fight in between, that's where I think Spence's pride got involved. He should have taken a fight, whether it was with Keith Thurman, and we know the story behind that.
Yeah,
I would want to tell Errol, hey man, if you had to do that all over again, man, don't do to Keith Thurman what he did to you, man, because this is your career on the line. You
right,
go take a fight so that you've got some activity, man, because you don't just step out of the bed, and I'm being facetious, you don't step out of the bed into the ring with Terrence Crawford.
right,
I don't advise anybody do that.
right. And to
Even though
your credit, what you were saying, Mister, I would have put the expiration date on like either 2021 or 2022 on this fight. I would have, if we can't
yeah,
get, yeah. because of the physicality of his weight, what he had to go through, the grueling as he go through to make the weight. And once again, these not excuses, these just the facts in it. So I would have put an expiration date on it. Hey, we can't get this done by this time. I'm moving on to other things, and the fans just gonna have to understand. Yes, I wanted it, but that goes back to what I was saying. He made it a priority of him, a goal. Hey, I want to be undisputed at welterweight. So salute to him for being stubborn to the course, but it came at his detriment as well.
No doubt.
To your credit, he put too much mentally, emotionally into it, and I think it did cost him. And what you said, it gave Crawford enough time to prepare for what he was bringing.
Which tells you
Absolutely.
who was the smarter man all along, outside the ring and inside the ring.
I just got
No arguments from me.
what? Yo, I just got a question. Where were these tools that Spence was supposed to bring out? That all these Spence fans, and not you guys in particular, said that man had. Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Okay,
He
Banner. Let me
just
say this. Let me just respond real quick. I have to jump off. Man, if I just want to say this to you, brother, because you're young and you're highly intelligent. Don't
And
shortchange
I'm always
yourself.
willing to learn.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's why I'm saying it to you like this. Don't shortchange yourself. If you're going to be a student of this game, go back and study. Because you got to study. There's always going to be a difference in the ring based on the differences in an opponent, right? I will have to honestly
Mhm.
say, Errol Spence has never come across a guy with the kind of talent where the talent is on call. He can go and get it if he needs it, but he may not even show it. Some of the other fights that Spence has been in, these fighters came and presented the best they had, and it wasn't enough, which is why I'm saying what I'm saying in reverse. The best Errol Spence may possibly not be enough to compete with Terrence Crawford. I'm going to give him that respect. But this is the fight game. There's a chance that Eric can go back, rebuild himself if he takes enough time. Like Mr. Gregory said, it's going to take a lot of time to make up the mind to even come back with the effort it's going to take. You don't just go and take an L and just say, hey, man, let me hurry up and get my. That would be ridiculously irresponsible on Errol Spence's part and his team. You don't just jump back in the ring when you got dominated like that. Can he come back from it? He's got to want to.
and
First
that
and
goes.
foremost,
Yeah, you're
he's got
right.
to
That
want
goes to his mental and his spiritual fortitude.
to. Absolutely.
Yeah,
His will
yeah,
was broken. He was supposed.
correct.
I was just going to say that. Don't let it
His
be
will was
reversed.
broken. His will. He said they see. This is the thing too.
Absolutely.
Earl said he was going to do all of these things. In order to do that, you have to have the talent and you have to be taught. His trainer never did that, and he didn't. And then when you're in a fight and he went through what he was going through, you got to look to your corner to bring you back up. Here's what you need to do now. Did anybody hear Derek James tell him to do anything different? No.
Yeah,
So
bro. Derek James. Derek James is trying to will swing for it. He's like, bro, you need to hit him with that. Whatever he was
Well,
trying to tell him to do in the ring, but it was too late.
it was, yeah, you was trying to tell him to do anything. He got to that point, do anything and anything. You know that wasn't going to work. He
Yeah,
yes, sir.
but Bando, like to say, when the will is broken, you can have all the tools that we don't know. It could be tools from another universe. If your will is broken, if you can have the most powerful sword in the world, if you don't have the will to lift it, what good does it do?
his will was broken, and he had to concede that I'm in over my head, but I'm gonna try to make it through anyway. That was really false bravado from the point. I think beyond the third round, that was false bravado. He was just trying to hold on, and even asking about, well, we got to run this back. That was false bravado. Because what is that confidence backed by? Confidence is backed
Exactly.
by substance. What substance do you have that we saw tonight that's going to make us believe that you come back at 154 when you got beat so bad you shouldn't even be back in the ring for at least a year? So I
Well,
understand the mind of a fighter. I fought a little bit myself. I understand how your heart can be bigger than your common sense. I understand when you realize you in here with somebody who you can't do anything with. but your ego won't allow you to accept it, so you get beat down. And that it happens to us all in different ways, because as men, the testosterone in us, that energy still will drive us, and sometimes it overcomes our common sense.
That's right. I agree.
Well,
You're right on point, Honorable Gregory.
yep, totally agree. I got to get these. I got to get these 2 super chats. I want to say to each and every one of you guys, and even the guys that were on here but they're not here anymore. I appreciate you all coming on the panel, giving your perspectives, coming back on the panel. A few of you guys that came back from yesterday, and giving your perspectives on your reaction to what you saw, what you observed, what you heard, or what you did not hear in the corners of the trainer. Just seeing what we saw last night. I want to say I thank you guys for your support. Um, I'm gonna give everybody about 10 seconds. 10 seconds apiece. Give me your last words, starting with you, King Asia Math, and then we're gonna go up to Mr. Aaron Muhammad, and then band up, then last but not least, Mr. Gregory. 10 seconds, last words. It's on you, King Asia.
Well, right now, make these 10 seconds about me. I predicted that, hey, he got to jump through that window within them first 3 rounds. He did it. So salute to Crawford for doing that. I didn't see him being able to do it, but he did it, and he did it masterfully. So salute to me for giving him that too. That, hey, dude, you only got a small window to get this off, and he did it. So yeah, Crawford camp, y'all need to be thanking me.
Can I take a drink?
Mr. H. Muhammad, it's on you, sir.
Yes, sir. First of all, Manager Marty, man, your platform, brother, you know how much I appreciate it. I think as boxing fans, we have all grown in appreciation of what you bring to the sport in terms of your knowledge and your honesty. And that's where I want to leave off. Honestly speaking, as a Spence fan, I can see the inclination, that the incline of the road he's got to climb if he wants to become known as a great fighter, not just a good fighter. He's gotta overcome something that we haven't seen very many fighters overcome, which is to come back better and then take the win back from a fighter the level of a Bud Crawford. I'm not saying that's impossible, but it sure is not going to be easy. That's all I have.
Very well spoken. Thank you, Mr. H. Muhammad, for your support. Appreciate you, my guy. Mr. Band Up, 10 seconds is on you, my brother. Last words.
You know what I mean? First and foremost, like I said, I'm always gonna give thanks to the person, you know what I mean, that let us up here, Manager Marty. You know what I mean? You, like I said, you're a very smart dude. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, and thank you, Gregory. You know what I mean? I'll be watching you. You know what I mean? I'll be seeing you up here. You know, we just got one right. You know what I mean? And we all been, you know what I mean? We all been taking the heat for this. You know what I mean? Throughout the lead up, but we got it here, and you know our guy won, so we gonna rock with that. Today was the fish fry. We done ate. It's good.
My guy, Band Up. Very well spoken, Band Up. Look forward to seeing more of you, Mr. Band Up. Thank you, my brother. All right, Mr. Greg. Last
Okay.
but not least, you got it, Mr. Greg.
Thank you very much for allowing us to come on. I love what you're doing, and you know I support you. I'll continue to support you, whatever you're doing, because you're doing something nobody else is doing. So you keep doing that. I do wish Spence well. I hope they take care of him, because I am concerned about it. To your Spence fans, okay, I know you're going to have a fit for a while. Lay down, rest yourself, get over it, because we told you what was going to happen and you didn't listen. You didn't do your homework. Start doing your homework, because you're going to have guys like us who are going to tell you all you have to do is do the research and find out, because we'll be back. As for you, Manager Marty, once again, keep doing this. We will always, at least I will always support you. Come on, we may have the differences that we do, but what I love about it is that I told you everything and it happened. And now you know, at least I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just some old guy just walking around saying things, you know. But I have enjoyed you. Now let me get off because I know other guys want to come on. But you Spence fans, I'm sorry. It happened. Here's a hug, you know, let it go. We won this time. Let's see what happened next time.
You got it, Mr. Greg. Salute to you. Thank you for your
All right, you
support,
too.
brother,
All
and
right.
your encouraging words. As always, Mr. Greg, thank you so very much. I got artwork. Thank you for your support and your contribution to the channel. Artwork says Spence was high when he walked into the arena. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope that's not true. I would be more inclined to believe that is not true. But I will say this though, artwork. Everybody knows this to be a fact. This is not an opinion. Errol Spence Jr. looked extremely different, and I said this earlier. If you came late, if anybody came late, I said this earlier. He looked different in this fight in the ring. Terrence Crawford looked different too. Both of these fighters look different for different reasons. Excuse me, whatever they may be. Yes, so I would agree, artwork, that basically what you're trying to say from what I can interpret is that Errol Spence looked different in this fight, and he just was not himself. But there is no excuse on it. Terrence Bud Crawford won this fight decisively in dominating fashion, and he is now the unified, undisputed, undefeated welterweight champion of the world. My guy, thank you so much, Mr. Matthew Thomas. Always a pleasure to see your name in the chat. Thank you for your support, your contribution. I have to read this, and I want to comment on this. Say a comment to you, Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew says we are true fight fans. We pick a side and we stay on our square. In order to be a great winner, you have to be a great loser. Totally agree, Mr. Matthew Thomas. And the bottom line is, as I always say, and I said it on this platform several times before, and I've said it to people that know me personally, there's two types of beatings that boxers take. Either they get beat up or get beat down. And what determines the type of beating that a fighter takes inside the ring is how they respond and how they are able to recover or is not able to recover after the competition unfolds inside of the ring. So we have yet to see how this loss, first loss that is, of Errol Spence Jr. is going to affect him moving forward. And then we will be we will oh my gosh, we will be able to determine whether or not he got beat up in this fight or beat down in this fight. So thank you again, Mr. Matthew Thomas, and absolutely, we had a great time, Mr. Matthew Thomas. It was always a pleasure just talking to you, being a day one supporter of the channel. Much love and respect to you, your family. Peace and blessings to you, brother. Always. Thank you so much, Mr. Matthew Thomas. I really appreciate it. We're at that time now, 2.5 hours. We've been on here. We'd love for you all to replay this live and watch it all over again because this was a great live. We've learned some things about Errol Spence fans. We've learned some things about Terrence Crawford fans. But here's the great thing about it all. No matter who won or lost last night, we all have a responsibility in the YouTube boxing community. And that is to continue to put boxing on the map because this is the only media form that basically controls the news and reporting and reactions and analysis and predictions of the sport of boxing. We don't have newspapers anymore. We don't have a ESPN who just designate a show every single day of the week like they do other sports, particularly on weekdays and even weekends here in America. when it comes down to publishing content on boxing and only boxing. And so YouTube is the place that we all come to break bread at, whether we agree or disagree. But we have to know that we all have one thing in common. We all have to know that, whether we agree or disagree, that we love the sport of boxing. And with that being said, tune in live and in living color, because I'm going to come back on live now. I know some people might wanted to have gotten on, but because of the sake of time, you might not be able to get on right now. But I will tell you this: when we do a live again sometime this week, you will be able to come on. You got my word on that. Both guys, or three guys, or four guys that was in the back, come on back when we do the live. It don't matter if you want to talk about Crawford and Spence reaction. That's fine, as long as you're able to come back on and provide your perspective. That's clearly cool with me. I'm sure it's going to be cool with the audience. It's all about creating content that's going to provide the two things that I provide on this channel, and that is entertainment and education, more importantly. And so with that being said, I look forward to publishing content throughout this week and even doing another live this week. I will always keep you posted in advance to prepare you all to invest your time in your scheduling. And so I'm out of here. If there's anybody that want to say anything else about this whole Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford reaction, I look forward to see what you have to say through your feedback in the comments section below. Whether you were actively involved in the chat or not, or whether you're watching a replay of this live, please go into the chat. Let's get some feedback on my reaction and everything that I said, and then everything that the panelists said. And that's why this sport of boxing is what it is. And we all can find something in common with one another. I'm Manager Marty. As I always say,